welcome back to the Anorak Entertainment Podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Don Martino, and we got some fun stuff to get into today. As per usual, I hope it's always fun. Maybe it's not for you guys, but you gotta let us know in the comments below if you don't enjoy this show. But if you do, let us know that as well. Hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. We got a really crazy-ass story to start with today. And that is that Jerry Seinfeld is going to direct and star in a high-concept Pop-Tart film. Sammy, you read this story. First of all, how are you today?
I'm doing good. Hello.
Good.
I'm here as well. What's going on?
You read this story. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it says in the article what I said, what the first thing I thought, which is not since Barry B. Benson in the B movie have I seen such Seinfeld buffoonery.
Yes.
And I'm glad. I hope it's a B movie for the next generation. I hope they get their weird ass movie. Like, I remember being a child seeing B movie and being like, this is weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's about a bee and he's trying to get with an adult lady, but also kind of loving that. And I hope this is it. He said that it's literally just a spin-off of one of his like stand-up jokes.
Yeah.
About like, I can't believe that TART would pop. It would not pop.
First person I sent this to when I got this was Adam.
What did he say?
He was like, I don't care how this is received. In my mind, it's a masterpiece. And I kind of have to agree with him.
I hope it's like B-movie. That's what I'm saying.
This sounds ridiculous, but it sounds very much like something Jerry would do. I'm perfectly okay with him wanting to do this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If it was like Christopher Nolan's directed a Pop-Tart movie, I'd question this a little bit more. But it's Jerry Seinfeld, so I have,
and again, we have B movie to point to.
Right.
We have an example.
Right, exactly, and I think that it sounds like it's something that could actually. I hate to say it, but work. You know what I mean? Like it's one of the. It's not like Vin Diesel's Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie. Like, this is something that actually sounds like it can work because it comes from the name of Jerry Seinfeld, and everybody's gonna just associate Seinfeld with it the same way they did when B movie happened. So it's like nobody's gonna care. They're gonna be like. I mean, they're gonna care. You know what I mean? That's the thing. They're gonna care about this more than, if Vin Diesel. Well, he is doing the Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie, and everybody was like, I really don't give a shit. This is like, this is different. This is a whole different beast. I think Jerry's gonna absolutely make the movie he wants to make, and I think that sounds pretty cool to me. I love Jerry Seinfeld. I'm a massive Seinfeld fan. I think that he's just one of these guys that he kind of took what am I trying to say here? Like, he took stand-up comedy and just took it to a whole new level, because he found his own niche audience, and he found a way to become possibly the most successful stand-up comedian of all time when we're talking financially. And there's a reason for that. It's because he does things like this. I mean, honestly, it's he's Jerry, it's the personality, there's something about it. He made a sitcom where he didn't have to be the funniest guy on it, but you loved watching him in it for some reason. You know what I mean? Like, he's still funny in the show, but he's not the funniest guy in Seinfeld. It's Kramer, it's George, it's, Lane. I mean, those are the characters that made his show. But yeah, freaking Jerry Seinfeld, he's, I don't know. He continues to do things that don't even baffle me, but they do surprise me. Like, I did read this, like, pretty surprised. I was like, oh wow, and there's gonna be people out there, much like his comedy, that just don't get it, and that's fine, because that's Seinfeld. They're just not gonna get it, and I'm okay with that, and he's okay with that. I'm sure he's doing it because he knows people are just not gonna get it.
I just realized it's called Unfrosted.
Oh wow, yeah. See, that's brilliant. It's brilliant.
That's funny.
Yeah, and it's I read somebody on Instagram. The headline was, "What's the deal with Pop-Tarts?" It's just like, yep,
Right.
that's the movie.
That's
And
the movie.
yeah, he's gonna basically make a film version of a stand-up bit. It's just, what's the deal with Pop-Tarts? So yeah,
Right.
it's
Which, again, we have B movie to point to. The thing is, I don't know if this is a children's film or not. That's the
they
thing.
not
But
specified.
with the animated children's film, the classic children's film B movie, it kind of is off the joke of, they say at the beginning, like, there's no way a bee should be able to fly, but they do it
Right.
anyway because bees do not care what humans have to think.
Exactly.
That's the movie.
Yeah, that's the
You know what I
movie.
mean?
And it doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like Seinfeld. That's the show. It doesn't have to be about anything. It's
Right.
really a show about nothing, and
It's about nothing, and therefore it's about everything.
You're right.
Yeah.
Jerry could do that. Now, I'll say the thing that surprises me about this is I thought Jerry was out of the film game. Like, I didn't expect him to just come out of nowhere with something like this, but
I was
it's
like,
cool.
bold move.
It's cool to just kind of come out of, I wouldn't necessarily say retirement. I know he was doing stand-up still for a bit, but at least in the film world, come out of retirement to make some entertainment. So I'm good with that. I think Jerry's brilliant. He really is. He's brilliant. Anybody who gets it will tell you the same. He's a brilliant comedian. He just he gets up on stage, he talks about nothing. But he talks about a lot too, because it's like,
exactly,
there's no plan to his stand-up, but that's the idea. You know what I mean? It's like he just wants to talk about.
That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the best we're gonna get.
So yeah, I love this story. I think it's really, really super cool. I gotta tell you, this has nothing to do with the story. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about the story before I get way too off path here?
No, go for it.
All right. So, I watched 2 movies today that I had never seen before. Did an Elizabeth Olsen double feature today.
Nice.
The first film I watched was, bear with me, Martha, Marcy, Marlene, May. Was the first film I watched.
Right.
You have to see this movie. It was so good. This is, have you seen it?
What the hell is it called again?
Sorry. It's Martha, Marcy, Marlene.
I'll just look Elizabeth
May.
Olsen movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, check it out. It's really worth your time.
How did you see it?
Huh?
How did you see it?
You have access.
Oh, nice.
That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah.
Do you know that that's her #1 credit on IMDb?
It doesn't surprise me.
I approve. It's right that you can't see it. It doesn't matter. It's proof. I swear to God, that's her #1 credit above Avengers. Anything? Wow.
Martha,
Wind River
Marcy,
is #2.
Marlene,
wow.
May. Well, Wind River's incredible. Also, I mean, she's great.
I know. I've heard. I would say maybe something like Wind River. I'd probably go like Wind River and then like Infinity War, WandaVision after that, maybe.
I mean, this movie is, she's so damn good. Like it's she's always great, but so it's like, I don't want to like say the obvious by saying that she was great, but like the movie's great too. It's like it's dark. I'll say that much. Like, it's a very dark film. So you got to be in a good mood for it, I guess.
Right.
But it's because it's extremely dark, and it's a cult movie is what it is.
Okay.
So she joins a cult.
I think cults are kind of fascinating, so
yeah,
this sounds great.
In the beginning of the movie, it's her running away from the cult. That's how we started.
Okay.
Like, she'd been in the cult for a long time. And so she runs away from the cult and calls up her sister, played by the great Sarah Paulson, which is also awesome.
Oh my gosh. We love her.
And so Sarah Paulson, basically takes her into her home. And of course, Elizabeth Olsen has all this like PTSD from being in this like what's essentially like a sex cult, which is crazy,
right?
And like, so she has like all this PTSD from being there, and so throughout the entire movie, we're kind of flashing back and forth between her being in the cult and then her living with her sister, trying to straighten things out. The ending. I want to see a really good analysis on this movie, because I don't know if I'll ever figure out the ending. I have like a couple different theories on it, but I won't spoil it for you because I really want you to watch
Yeah,
this
yeah.
movie. But all I'll say is like this ending, it kind of baffled me, you know, because I think that
Wow.
it really leaves you just trying to guess what happened from where we left off. And so I feel like there's a couple different, like probably like 3 or 4 different scenarios that happened, you know, so that's why I'm
Right.
kind of baffled by the ending, and I'm not sure how I felt about that. But on the same hand, this movie like it really dives into somebody who had just left a cult, and it does it really well, and like Elizabeth Olsen just destroys, you know.
Else,
She's
right.
right, and she excuse me, like there were scenes that just absolutely floored me from her performance. Like she
Wow.
was really really good. And the yeah, so like the whole movie though, like when you see like what she went through with this like cult, it really just it's probably the most, because okay, we can reference Midsommar, you know, a little bit,
Yeah.
because like Midsommar is like a movie I love about a cult, right? And I think it's very
Uh-huh.
disturbing, and you know, in a lot of ways felt very real. But like, I'm not trying to say that this doesn't happen in cults, what happened to Midsommar, but it kind of takes a more kind of fantastical route toward the
Gotcha.
end.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
This
see what you're saying.
movie
Yeah.
is like to the point realistic. You know, it
You're right.
stays completely realistic. There's no like,
Mm-hmm.
this cult doesn't like cast magical powers or anything like that, like
Right.
in Midsommar. As much as I love that movie, I'm not dissing that
Yeah.
movie. I'm saying that this is a different type of cult movie. So if you're like
Mm-hmm.
going into it a little bit afraid that maybe it's going to feel a little too much like Midsommar, it's a different type of thing altogether. This is more about like the relationship
More
between her and her
realistic.
sister, her trying to kind of get
Kind
back
of.
to, you know, a good spot, but also while staying very real. But both films are incredibly disturbing, and both films will give you crazy anxiety. So they're
Yeah.
similar in that way. Like, and they're both really well made movies.
Yeah. Did you ever watch The Vow? The HBO
That's the one with
Max
Baru,
documentary?
right? The one where Baru is in that
Yes.
cult. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
People don't know I'm talking about the actress that
Yes.
played Aunt Baru in the
Bonnie
prequels.
something is her name.
Right, joined a
Yeah.
cult, and so she
Yes.
was on this documentary.
The
called
Nexium
Vow.
cult. Yeah.
Never seen it, but yeah. Like,
Oh, it's fascinating.
yeah.
It is fascinating. But I think
bet.
I was just gonna ask like if you had of those kind of similar to that. You know what I mean? Because I
Well,
feel like that
what
like
happens
is
there?
at a bar. I mean, there was like their branding. They would like have like hot irons, like brand the women with his initials. They like literally sex trafficked women. He would control what they eat to make sure they were super skinny.
Little bit.
All of that. He would control their lives, their phones, their everything.
Little bit.
He would have blackmail on them. He would purposefully. You would have to have blackmail in order to join. So that way, if you ever tried to leave.
Well, the sick thing about this cult, and I don't know if it might be that way in The Vow too, but the sick thing in this cult, it's very similar to that though. Everything you were describing, it's just in this no branding to my knowledge, but almost everything else you described, with the food, you know, like you see, like Elizabeth, like this isn't a spoiler, but like she, you know, like when she doesn't do anything when she's living with her sister and her husband, she won't do anything like almost without asking the husband's permission to do it before she can do it, because she's been controlled for so long. But you know, like one of the things you'll find this out in the beginning, like the initiation to the cult is like you have to have sex with the leader, and like it's to like it's like a cleansing. This is what they call it. They call it a cleansing.
Right. You like sleep with the prophet, and it like makes you more enlightened.
Yeah.
That bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also my mom's really into like true crime documentaries and stuff. So like I know all the things about the cults.
Right.
All the things, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I found it
but
really
it's that type of thing, right?
Yeah, I found it incredibly disturbing. And I mean, I think that it was one of the things that made the movie so good is it's just I think I feel like for myself, like I knew that there were cults that existed that did this, but like if I felt like until I saw it in like a narrative, you know, it was almost hard for me to like really grasp like how disturbing and sick it actually is. And it was like, so like when I saw it play out, it was like it was so, and plus it's like Elizabeth Olsen, you know, she's like America's sweetheart.
Oh my god,
now, you know what I mean? So it's
and
like
she's an incredible actress.
Exactly. And when you see her go through that, it's like she was perfect for casting for that reason, because she is so
Nice.
likable and lovable, and you don't
Mhm.
want to see her get hurt or do
Right,
these
yeah.
things and get involved with it. But like, and you see like the manipulation, because they actually show her like why she ended up joining the cult, and you see like all the manipulation that goes on
Right.
around her.
Yeah.
And I love that the movie didn't like
Mhm.
lack
Sugarcoat
any.
it.
Yeah, exactly. Didn't sugarcoat it.
Because
Didn't lack
right.
any of it. It just all felt very
Yeah.
real. It was completely.
I've seen some TikToks that have been like, is anybody else out there feel like they want to try to see if they would get tempted into a cult? Like just to see, because we think we know. Like everybody who like grew up watching true crime documentaries, like knows all these things, watches
Yeah.
it, knows all of their tactics, know how easy it is and the easy ways they manipulate you. We all think we would easy be like, oh no, this is bullshit. You're trying to get me into a cult. Like, no, like immediately. But do we? We don't know. We're like
Yeah.
kind of want to know, but also, God, no, please
Well,
don't
that's what
approach
made
me
this
ever.
movie so scary, because like
Yeah,
Elizabeth Olsen
that's
seemed,
what's so scary about cults. Exactly.
she seemed fairly, okay, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
as far as like a human being, she seemed smart, but she
They
made
always do.
friends with the
Yeah.
girl, and the guy was incredibly nice to her, and he was offering a free place to live, and that's the
Right.
thing, it's like Charles Manson, like the Manson family, it's like,
That's what I'm saying. That's how it always happens. It's
yeah,
always they befriend somebody else, and then like after a while they bring them in, and then they're like, "Hey, do you want to do this weird thing with us?" Oh, it's always how it goes
yeah.
down.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's some really messed up stuff too going on in that house. Like when you really like
Yeah.
get into it, it's crazy. And
Oh yeah, a cult that makes you sleep with the main guy to for initiation.
yeah,
There's some bad things going on if that's
yeah.
opening day.
What I loved about this movie too is like nobody in the movie never tells you this is a cult, right? You have to figure that out on your own, that this is the plot in the movie.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like there's nothing like specifically that says she's in a cult. You don't know this like specifically, but by the time you
Mm-hmm.
finish the movie, it's like, well, she was in a cult. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's easy to figure out. Don't get me wrong. It's just nothing. Nobody ever says you were in a cult or anything like that. It's like
Uh-huh.
the movie just kind
Right.
of like plays it out, and then you figure out like what the
That's so
situation
true.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. For people in cults talk about it. Like no when they're in there, no one's looking around like, hey, can you believe we're in a cult? Like, look how
Yeah.
cool our cult is. That's only a thing that people, realize when they're outside of it. And the
Yeah.
people inside like reject
Yeah.
because they know if they look at it, they know that they'll realize it's true.
Yeah. One of the
Yeah.
criticisms I usually have on movies in general is the fact that like they typically like movies that like have a very bland, bleak kind of look to them, I typically find myself really bored with and not enjoying. And this is
Mm-hmm.
one of those movies that had a bland and bleak look to it. Like there's not really like a lot of like heavy, like high concept
Right.
style to it, but like it just felt so right for the story it was
I was
telling.
gonna say it sounds necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the one thing I'll say though, like, because the sister lives on like a lake house, she's like really wealthy and and
Mm-hmm.
everything. So like when she goes to live with the sister, like the imagery of the lake and everything is nice. You know what I mean? But it's not very like high concept cinematography or that well shot. It was just perfect for the movie because like they kept this sort of like bleak look to it the entire time, and you felt
Uh-huh.
like, oh yeah, this is just fitting everything they're trying to do. You know what I mean? So it felt very purposeful. And when you see this, you've seen the actor, by the way. I can't think of his name or anything, but the actor who plays the main cult
Let me
leader
see.
is like, you've seen this actor, and when I saw that he was the guy that they chose to play him, it's like he's
Uh-huh.
perfect for that. But he's like one of these
Wow.
character actors that like pop up and everything, but he's really creepy looking in general anyway, so he was just kind of perfect for it in a lot of ways. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but the messed up thing about the cult in this movie is that there's men in it too, and the
Mm-hmm.
men basically run the household, you know what I mean, over like all these women
Right.
that are joining, and like so the men have like a lot of say, even though they have the one head guy that's running the cult. Like the men in the
Mm-hmm.
movie also are like a big part of it, and like
Right.
it's
They still
crazy to
have
me.
more agency than the women in the cult.
For
Right.
sure, for sure. But it's
Right.
crazy because like you get treated and like very well in the cult. You know what I mean? Like there's not like a lot that goes on that like you're like
Right.
the lifestyle seems normal in a lot of ways, but then in a lot of other ways it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Because, right. It's two things at once. Yeah.
Because it's like, it seems like as long as they're willing to have sex with whoever, they're good to go. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, right. It just seems like you don't really get messed with if you're having sex, but like everything, like because they show like new people get initiated in the cult a couple different times in the movie. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. Like, you know, they're just so welcoming, you know what I mean? And they call it a family in the movie, you know what I mean? And like everything that they always do together, it's like they do function like a family, you know what I mean? It's crazy to me, but then you got the other side of it where all the fucked up shit happens, you know? So it's just like, it's kind of a catch-22. So you see like why you would stay there, because you feel welcomed, you know, you really do. And they don't really like hold up on that or you know, or hold off on that at all. Like the cult continuously makes you feel like family, makes you feel welcomed, but you know, there's that catch of, you know, yeah, you just got to have like a lot of sex, you know, go kill cats and shit like that. It's like
kill cats.
It's one of the plots in there. It's just, it's messed up. And well, yeah, and then I just loved how they kind of like they went from a point, like, I don't think throughout the entire movie, like, Elizabeth Olsen is fully okay ever, you know what I mean? I still don't think by the ending of it that she was, but the one thing, but they really do a good job at showing, like, you know, the extremes that, you know, like, differed Elizabeth Olsen's character from all the other characters to kind of, like, make her want to walk away from it and go see her sister. And I just really, really enjoyed that. And whoever played Sarah Paulson's husband in that movie was really good too. And I can't think of his name. He was just, the whole cast.
Want me to look it up?
Please do. Yeah, if you can get the cast. I mean,
I gotta pull it up. John Hawkes is Patrick. That Christopher Abbott, Max. Brady Corbet, Watts. Hugh Dancy, who I love, Ted. Those are the main men. I don't remember too many
characters' names, though. That's the thing, because I don't think people barely called each other by their names in the movie. You know, it's just,
what is Christopher Abbott? I recognize him. What else is he in?
I don't know.
Let me see.
Christopher Abbott.
His face looks real. If I look through his filmography, I'll know.
What's he look like? Can you got a picture?
Yeah, hold on. Let me show you the picture. Yeah,
let me see if I can see it through your screen, because I'll tell you, like, if I can see pictures, I can tell you who each one plays. Back it up just a little bit for me, if you would. I think that's the husband. I think so. I think that's the husband of...
I'm trying to get it.
Oh, yeah. That's the husband.
Oh, you can see it a little better like that. Yeah.
That's the husband of Sarah Paulson in the movie.
He looks really familiar to me. I know I've seen him in something else. Yeah. And then this is Hugh Dancy, who I love.
Oh, wait.
Because he's Prince Charmant in Ella Enchanted.
Oh, you know what?
He's one of the best movies of all time.
He's the husband.
He's the husband?
He's the husband. Yes.
Oh,
they both kind of
look
alike
creepy
to me through your phone screen there, but yeah, he's the husband of
that's
the.
That's real creepy.
You
sure?
Character.
This dude. Oh, it's the face is so
Maybe
white.
Not. Is he? How big's his nose?
Average.
Okay, that's the husband. That's the one that plays a husband.
Okay.
He plays Sarah Paulson's husband in the movie. He's really good.
Wow.
Nice. Hold on. So I'm trying to think. The guy I'm thinking of who plays the cult leader, though, he's got this really long nose, and you've seen him in a billion movies. I guarantee it. Is
it this man?
Let's see.
This is John Hawkes.
Yes.
Let me see if I
think so.
Does that help anything at all?
Yeah, nope. I think that was him. It looks just like him. Tilt the phone again. I'm pretty positive that's him. Yeah, he's the guy who plays the cult leader in the movie. He's really creepy.
I want to watch this movie, so I'll confirm or deny.
I don't know what it was. It was one of those movies.
What else is Christopher Abbott in? I'll continue. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say.
I'm gonna look through his filmography.
Trying to think of what I was trying to say. I guess it's like it's one of those movies that.
I know where he's from.
Almost like it's got a very slow pace, you know, like I don't want to try to like pretend like this is like the most fast-paced movie I've ever seen, but for some reason, like from the very beginning, it just hooked me. You know what I mean? It's kind of a slow burn in a way, but it's got that like score to it though. You know what I mean? That like Ari Aster type score that he uses, where he like he sets the score in there in certain ways to where it's like the score gives you like anxiety along with the bad things that are happening. So I think that was part of it. Like everything about the movie just
that sounds cool.
Really, really great. It's really, really phenomenal phenomenal as film. But I
I'm
just
gonna
feel,
watch it.
I feel like I learned a lot more about cults today, you know, after watching
Yeah.
this. Like I really do. Like I've seen cult movies and, you know, things like that, but this is the most grounded in reality I've ever seen them go, because most cult movies do that Midsommar route, while Midsommar is the best one that's done it, probably, where it's like, we're going to take it to where it's kind of a little bit more in the world of fantasy, you know what I mean? Like we're gonna, you know, you say this spell, it conjures up this dragon, or whatever, you know, cults usually do that, or we're gonna contact the spirits from beyond, or it wasn't like that. It was just completely grounded. It felt real, and I really freaking loved it. The second movie I watched, though,
nice. Also, Christopher Abbott was on He Was Charlie on Girls. That's how I know him. Cool. On the Lena Dunham HBO Adam Driver show oh my god, that was one of my favorite shows of all time. He was Charlie on Girls. Gotcha.
Have you seen?
Which you haven't seen, right? We've talked about
not
this.
Girls. No, I want to, but I will eventually. Trust me.
Adam Driver is incredible. Sure. If nothing else, watch it for Adam Driver. It's worth it. It's worth watching the whole show just for him. I swear to you.
I like Williams as well. What's her name?
Allison Williams. She's good too. She's really if you love her, then if them together, because there's a lot of other. Because the thing is, like, there are they're the four main girls, and they all have big different plot lines.
Yeah.
And some of them I like more than others, but it's worth it Allison Williams I do like, but like for Adam Driver, and if you love Allison Williams alone, it's worth pushing through those other plot lines and episodes. Oh, no because doubt. It's that good. They're that good.
No doubt I'll enjoy the show. It's something I've just not gotten around to yet, but I plan to, and I always have, so I will.
Second movie
I watched. You could talk about this one with me. Ingrid Goes West. I finally seen it.
Oh my gosh, so that movie's incredible, so right?
Yes,
oh my god. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Now this one I think is more rewatchable than Marlene. What's the movie called? Martha, Marcy, Marlene May. It's more incredible than that. Another is Elizabeth Olsen flick. I decided to have a double feature today of Elizabeth Olsen, and I was much happier for it. But I didn't expect to like Aubrey Plaza as much as I did in this movie. She was really good. She really gave a great performance along with Elizabeth Olsen. They were both very good in the movie. Although I think Aubrey Plaza was the standout in that one, for sure. Because
for sure
they're both great. And Wyatt Russell was in this one too, which is cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I forget about that. Yeah. He's just kind of the guy to me in this movie. You know, this movie to me was all about Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen. And I'm like, oh yeah, he was the dude in that movie. That's right. I guess she did have a husband or boyfriend, or I forget who he was. That's right.
Right. It's definitely a kind of a character study of a psycho stalker, which I guess is what you can call it.
It's parasocial relationships. Yeah. It's what, attaching yourself to people on the internet and thinking that you have a real relationship with them actually does to your real human brain.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's one of movies I think should be required viewing for people.
It's great.
Just so you understand the concept that this is, be careful with the people that you say you love on the internet, because just be careful. This is the alternative.
Yeah.
Kind of a cautionary tale.
Yeah,
to, parasocial relationships, which I loved it. Yeah,
it was kind of one of those things though, where it was Aubrey Plaza was so brilliant. Not as an actress, she's great as an actress, but I mean the character is so good and brilliant about the way she goes about meeting this girl. So it's almost like
that's the thing. She's brilliant about it. That's what I mean. I'm she's kind of sociopathic about it, because she is very calculating.
Yeah, and
this is a plan.
So I just found myself rooting for her, their friendship. You know what I mean? And I think that was one of the things that I don't know why. I guess I didn't expect the movie to zig where I thought it was gonna zag, I guess, where kind of everything kind of shit hit the fan a little bit there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I did not think it was gonna end the way that it ended.
Yeah,
the whole thing with I don't remember quite exactly, but I'm talking about where she makes that post and sends it out to everyone. It's a video, right? She films a video,
right?
Yeah.
Powerful
I
scene.
was didn't think that was gonna happen.
Yeah, it was
not on my bingo card for that movie.
In that moment I was like, this movie is it's so powerful, and it was just far more than I thought it could have been when I was watching it, even though I liked it through its entirety. I really did. thought it was incredibly entertaining throughout it. Like, is the guy who plays Dan? I think he's Ice Cube's son, isn't that who that is?
Right, yeah, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Right, and he's really good in the movie. He's funny.
He
and
was.
He does some really,
I liked his
really good
character
stuff.
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and I that Catwoman scene though. That was messed up.
Oh, I don't remember. What was that?
The sex scene.
I really genuinely don't remember.
The sex scene where she was Catwoman and he kept calling her Bruce. Or she kept calling him Bruce. I'm sorry. And she was Catwoman, yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. There's like a bevy of Batman references throughout the movie, so it's fine. But
nice.
I
saw it once, like the year it came out. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It cracked me up when he came to her when she was at the hospital at the end, and the first thing he says, I think, is like, "Why are you so serious?" I was like, "Oh god."
Oh, does he? That's funny.
Yeah. So it's like there's Batman references throughout it. He's like obsessed with Batman, which cracked me up.
That does actually, yeah. The more you say it, I'm like that. That rings a bell.
Yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah, I remember that.
The movie was just fantastic all the way through, and like I just by the end of it, it's like Elizabeth Olsen becomes extremely unlikable, you know, and I was like, oh man, you know, and that's crazy to me because she's the one in the right in that situation. Like she's the one who's right there, and it's like morally anyway, she's right, and so it's amazing to me how the movie just really made me like really fall in love with the psycho stalker who's like completely in the wrong, but you understand like that, you know, she just really wants love and acceptance.
You get it, yeah.
And it's wild to me, but yeah, she just did a really Aubrey Plaza is a really good actress. I guess I just never knew it. I mean, I always liked her and stuff, but like here she was just like extra good. And I don't know, I can't think of like another role that she did where she was like on that level of good. I mean, she's really good in Funny People. I really liked her there.
I never saw that.
Oh, it's good. She's a great movie. She's really good in it. I never saw the Trevorrow one, Safety Not Guaranteed, that she did. I think we're watching that.
That's a really good one. I was trying to think of, I was like, I was going to look it up, her IMDb filmography, but that's what I'm thinking of. Safety Not Guaranteed is great.
I hear it's great. I want to check it out now. She's great in that. Yeah,
that's a great movie, man. You should watch it.
I'm really a fan of her after watching this, for sure. So I want to see her other work. I never saw The Life After Beth or whatever. I don't know how good that is, or
I don't know that.
That's the one with Brie Larson where she's like a zombie or something like that. But
she was in. I forgot she was in Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
She's funny in that movie. But
that was funny.
It's a funny movie.
That movie was funnier than I thought it would be.
Oh, it's a laugh ride. I thought it was hilarious. It's stupider than hell, but it's funny.
It was kind of like Neighbors, where I was like, I thought it was gonna be kind of trash, and I would laugh maybe a few times, but it was actually like really good.
It's a really funny,
solid comedy.
It is a solid comedy. Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm a fan of her now, and I want to see more for sure. I mean,
Safety Not Guaranteed then needs to be.
I'll check it
your
out.
Next watch.
I like Colin Trevorrow.
Oh my gosh, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World, real quick.
Right, that's right. That's the other one. That's the other one she's in. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she's I'm trying to think of how to describe like this sort of movie. Like it feels like it's I'm trying to think like it's like it's not a comedy, but it is, you know, like
right. It's right. It's comedic in like situation, but not really in like dialogue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the situation that these characters have found them in is pretty funny.
Yeah.
But not necessarily though, you know what I mean, because it does like dark things happen to them, like they have consequences of that situation, you know, but it's not like they're like not cracking jokes funny, you know.
Yeah, except for maybe like O'Shea Jackson Jr. Yeah, I mean like he's the only, he's the only one that like cracks jokes like almost every 2 seconds in that movie, but it was just like
not more than like the average,
which was fine. I didn't find him to get like overly obnoxious with it either, you know. He was just he was a very eccentric character in the movie, so it just made sense that character would be like the funny one in the movie. But you know, the one thing that I was thinking while I was watching it is like, how do I pitch this to somebody who hasn't seen it? Because I really think more people should see it, but there's no like big appeal. It's like, okay, Aubrey Plaza and Elizabeth Olsen are that's like your big selling point right there, and you get to
for me though. I mean, it was the concept, it was the plot that really sold me. It was for sure,
but like
this woman, and thinks she has a relationship with a woman on Instagram, so she tries to find her. And chaos ensues.
That'd probably be a good way to describe it.
That was the draw for me. I was like, that's interesting.
I was just saying, how
does that go down?
Right. I was just thinking in my mind, like, if I tried to sell a movie about a psycho stalker, most people are going to think, oh, it's one of those like Lifetime flicks.
Right.
It's
like, because it's not about a psycho stalker. It's about the how the internet perpetuates things like this.
Yeah.
I think a little bit at least.
Yeah, but even that sounds pretentious.
It does.
Sure. How loud it does. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong, because that is the movie, but it's like, it's just how loud it even sounds pretentious, but the movie's not pretentious at all. I think it's an actual really phenomenal movie, and more people should watch it, and it's a lot of fun to watch. It's more rewatchable than the other one, like I said, and that I watched today, and I think I watched this one more than the what's it called? Martha, Marcy, Marlene May. All right, that's hard to say.
The cult one.
The cult one. All right. As great as Elizabeth Olsen was in that. Like,
yes.
Which, again, she was really, really good in this one, Ingrid Goes West. Again, like, she's a really good actress. She baffles me every time I watch her in something new. She's got range, she can really do a lot. She
does. She went to acting school, and it shows.
Yeah. She's got like crazy ass range. I don't know what's happening with my camera right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second here, folks. I'll try to fix that.
It's on a funny face, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back.
We're back. I'm back. You're not coming back. It scares me. I'm gone again. All right, give this a second, folks. We will be back. Yes. I'm back. Are you gonna come back now?
Am I back? I think I'm
every time I try to bring you back, I freeze. So I don't know what's going on here. So that's not good.
Yikes.
That's not fun. But I'm back again. Let's just give it a minute. Maybe I can get you back here in a bit. But,
cool. Yeah.
That's why. Maybe.
Just keep talking.
You're back. You're back.
Oh, hey, we're back.
There we go. Now it's working. And I'm
is
frozen
it slow?
again.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
cool.
Maybe you'll come back. I don't know. It's having trouble transitioning or something.
This is great entertainment.
This is wonderful for the folks. The audio listeners, I'm sure.
Are you not entertained?
With this. Are you not entertained? Is that not why you're here?
Entertained.
Oh man, fucking Gladiator! I gotta watch it again sometime.
You make them laugh.
Fucking Gladiator and Braveheart. Those are like two movies I gotta watch once a year at least. I feel
nice.
Like Gladiator's the best. Braveheart's the best. Yeah. You haven't seen Braveheart, have you, Sammy?
Haven't seen either.
Watch Braveheart at least. Well, you need to watch Gladiator too. But
yeah.
Braveheart's like the one that I feel like you're gonna like more. It's like
right.
That's got like real good story to it, and like it's so's Gladiator. Like it's hard, but like I think the people out there will agree with me that if they know you at all, you're gonna like Braveheart better of the two. I would imagine.
Okay.
Yeah, because Braveheart's got everything.
Stronger female characters. Stronger plot.
It's
more character moments.
Yes,
all the things that I love always.
For sure, but like keep in mind, it's also that it's kind of a period piece, so it's like as good as
so
females
was Gladiator. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
true.
Yeah, but I think that like with the female characters,
but I feel like right.
Braveheart has more of the substance because him and his girl in there, there's like a really good love story to it. Like,
nice.
A lot of that movie, I think the first, it's like a 3-hour movie. I think like the first hour and a half is based around the love story, if I'm not mistaken, because he, for the most part, like they kind of set up like the political stuff too in there, but like for a lot of it, it's like him and the girl, him and his wife,
Did Braveheart win Best Picture?
I think so.
Did it? I think so. I know Gladiator did.
Yeah.
Because Elizabeth Taylor, Gladiator.
Yeah, that's
Never
right.
forget.
Yeah. Braveheart
Never
did.
forget.
I'm pretty positive.
Always remembered in my heart.
Yeah, it was certainly nominated.
I feel like it did.
Yeah.
Nothing in my brain's telling me that it didn't.
Yeah, it did win awards though. I know that. Like, even if it wasn't Best Picture, it won a lot of awards. That's for sure.
I can look it up.
It was a big deal of a movie. Surprised you haven't seen it though. It's really, really good. It's a really
I know that's
film.
always just been kind of another one of those bro movies to me. You know.
Okay. I'm not gonna say anything this time.
That's always been my reason. Like if it's ever popped up, that's why I've rejected it.
I'm not gonna say anything this time. I'll tell you, it's less of a bro movie than Fast and the Furious, but
right,
I can at least say that, for sure.
It did win Best Picture. Yeah. And I mean, if nothing else, it won Best Picture.
Yeah. That one really is like a lot more love story focused though, too. Like
Braveheart,
honestly, than the Fast and the Furious, even though I tried to pitch that to you that way. So, yeah.
There is a love story. You weren't lying.
I wasn't lying.
And Mia's probably my favorite character. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, good. There you go.
I mean, I just started Fast 6, Furious 6, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah. And so, I mean, Letty's coming back, but because you asked, you were like, what about Letty? And I was like, I don't know, because she's dead. They killed her.
Yeah.
But we'll see when she comes back.
Yeah.
How I feel. But,
for those of you who've been living under a rock for the past however many years, if you haven't seen Fast and Furious 6, this is the one where Letty comes back. So.
Yeah, sorry to spoil. Sorry if you didn't know. I didn't know. I genuinely didn't know. When I started Fast 4 and she dies, I was like, but she comes back, and then I was like, oh, okay, but she comes back, I guess.
Yeah. No,
I would have never guessed that they killed her off. Yeah. Because again, it's like for the same reason why I was kind of shook when Black Widow dies in Endgame, because I was like, you really just killed the one girl? Like, I hate to put it that way, but it was true. They killed the one girl of the core Avengers. They killed the one girl of the in team of the Fast and Furious. I was like, are you guys kidding me?
True that.
Why can't the cool women live?
Yeah. Here's what we should do.
You don't want them to die.
Here's what we should do really quick, since the listeners haven't. Go through them. I'm going to put the camera on you while I take care of something important, because I don't want this to go bad. But
you're good.
While I take care of something important, I'm going to throw the camera on you, and you kind of run through your review of each of the Fast and the Furious movies. Have you seen them so far? So go ahead. Have at it. Start with the Fast and the Furious. Here we go. Sammy's review. First time watching. Go ahead. Take it away.
So here's the thing. They are whatever. The first one, I really actually kind of didn't like the first one. That's probably my least favorite. So I just think that they are so totally completely filmed in the male gaze, and that is a bit too much for me to accept. And I feel like you need to be able to accept that in order to fully love the movie. And I just can't fully accept that. I keep, every time a woman is introduced, it's legs, ass, tits, all the way up. Every single woman is introduced by checking out her body the first way. We have multiple scenes where it's just women all there's women making out with women all over men. They exist for no other reason in this first movie than to be the sexual object of men. And I just don't stand for that. I have a zero tolerance policy for that. And I know it's fiction, so I'm like, hey, whatever, it's fine. And it's all about an aesthetic. It's just hard for me to accept an aesthetic that treats women that way. That being said, you're not a misogynist if you like Fast and the Furious, because there are good female characters. Again, like I said, I like Mia. I don't like how she kind of comes in I don't like the writing. That's my biggest problem, because again, like I said, Mia's a cool character. However, she only seems to be getting used when Brian's feeling sad and he needs a pickup. The only way he does that, woman. That's it. So it's kind of, what I I don't know if this is the right phrase for it, but you know what I mean? The mystical Negro trope, where in movies there'll just be a magical black person who gives them all the answers to everything. That's Mia. Mia is the magical woman who just has all the answers all the time and is just perfect. And it's you're not a real person. You exist for the pleasure of men. Zero things else. That's my biggest critique with it. Other than that, I mean, the first one, the acting and editing was horrible. The first one, I don't like at all. Fast 4, a little bit better. I think on acting, editing, writing is still awful. The writing is just, I don't like it. Not a fan. I really just, not for me. But everything else got a lot better. And the characters, I mean, again, they're fine. it's whatever. Fast 5 though, I kind of really liked.
Yeah.
Kind of was into Fast 5.
Yeah.
That one jumped it up a notch. That one made it more of like a modern action movie, which is way more my speed. I can get on board with that a lot more than, the kind of, the first one just seems kind of trashy to me. I know that's really mean to say because a lot of people love it, and I'm not saying you're trashy if you like it. I just think the movie is a little trashy. But Fast 5 is a modern action movie, and I love modern action movies. So, and I've been told that it just kind of keeps on that vibe for the rest of the thing. So I can get on it.
Yeah.
I think I'm, right now I go back and forth. There are moments where I'm like, I hate this movie. I need to cleanse my soul after I watch this. I hate it so much. And then another scene, or like the last 40 minutes of Fast 5 will happen, and I'll be like, oh, okay, that was a really great shot, action scene, and it had great character moments and it made sense for the plot. Loved it. So we're going back and forth all the time.
Yeah.
But I think the worst is over for me, at least.
They're fairly consistent between this movie and 8. I mean, between 5 and 8, because like they stay on that same like high adrenaline action.
Justin Lin directs the next 2, right? He directs 5, 6, 7.
No, 7 is Wan. Right. James Wan did 7, but Justin Lin did 6.
Okay.
6 is Justin Lin.
He did 4, 5, 6, right? 8, Justin Lin. I want to say.
Yes. And that's kind of his.
So I know he did a trilogy.
It's pretty much his trilogy, right? Is 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, 4, 5, 6.
So it's
gotcha.
Like, the first chapter of the trilogy,
and then 7,
the
8 was someone else.
Better.
Right.
7 is James Wan. 8 is F. Gary Gray, who I love F. Gary Gray, but
and then 9 is back to
best with 8. 8 is still fun, but he didn't do the best with it. I'll be honest.
But,
it's like
that's one with Charlize Theron, right? 8. I have to wait till 8 to get to a cool to get like another cool female character.
But she's kind of like in that tight leather and stuff,
I hope. I don't know if she's cool, but that's
she is.
Of course.
Like, she is cool, but she's
fucking course. I expect nothing less from the Fast and Furious franchise. We're gonna have a cool written character. She's gonna be the villain. She's gonna be complex. However, you can see her whole body, ass and tits, whole time, baby. Leather suit.
Not one of my favorite additions. I'll be honest with you. She's not one of my favorite additions. But I mean, hopefully 9 gets her redemption. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Fast 9 is Justin Lin again, which I have hopes for that because I really like Justin Lin's directing on these. I think that he did the best, because I mean, Fast 5 is my favorite. James Wan also did a great job. Furious 7 is probably my second favorite in the franchise. So
right.
It's kind of a toss up between him and Wan who should do these in my opinion. So if he's doing 9,
and I
hope.
And I gotta say, I am kind of sad because obviously I know what happens with Brian. I know that Paul Walker dies and that they drive off in, separate directions at the end of the 7th one. But like, I'm genuinely kind of sad about that. Yeah. I've thought about it. I was like, you know what? It's a testament to the franchise that I'm kind of sad that that's a thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm sure if I had watched them as they came out, I would have been emotional about that.
Yeah.
And that's not for nothing.
Yeah. I feel like that's a lot of the reason they picked James Wan to do 7 is because he just knows how to add that sort of heart that it needed.
He has a touch,
He does. He really does add that like extra charm that the franchise was sorely missing. Even though I love Justin Lin's take on it, I just feel like with the 4, 5, and 6, I think that's just again a not perfect trilogy, but a really good trilogy. And I mean, when it comes down to 7, it just adds this extra element that the movie. It's like there's an extra element of high adrenaline fun that the movies just haven't had. And then you also have like this heart behind it when it comes to how to handle the whole Paul Walker situation, which he does perfectly. That part of the movie is just it's the best thing about it. It's one of the best things about it because they just he really knew what to do with that, and it's such a well shot movie. 7. I can't wait till you get to 7 because you're gonna feel the shift in directors for sure, and that's like so I wonder. Okay. On some level I feel like that might be your favorite, because
it's true so far. Because I skipped Too Fast, Too Furious and Tokyo Drift for time, and again, I've heard it was heavy on the male gaze, those two.
Yeah.
So I just skipped them for my own sanity and time reasons.
Yeah.
But that's true. I've only had James Lynn's the only director
Right.
I've seen a Fast movie from so
Right.
far. That's true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's like,
we will see.
Well, except for the first one, but first one he didn't do.
Is that not James Lynn?
No, it's something Cohen. I can't think of his
Is it someone else? Oh, okay. Yeah. In my brain, I thought that was.
No, Justin Lin didn't come in until Tokyo Drift. Actually, so he's done 4, I guess.
Okay, so all the ones that I've liked so far have been James Lynn.
Yeah. Justin Lin, yeah.
Justin Lin, sorry.
Yeah,
Justin
you're good.
Lin, sorry.
James Wan, Justin, who knows? But
I know James, Jane.
No, with Furious 7, it's like I don't know. It's like it was one of those things when I watched it, because me and my buddy binged all of them before we went to go see 7, and you know, we dug the franchise overall, but you know, we were really nervous about 7 because we were like. You know, it was one of those things. While I like James Wan a lot, it was just one of those things that was really nerve-wracking when 7 came out, because for us fans, because we were like, oh, Paul Walker's like not even in the whole thing because he died in the middle of, you know, so there's that, and it's just like, so you just kind of, you're worried, you know what I mean, and you got to like handle that really well, and like the movie just needs to be,
and he does.
He just knocks it out of the park. It was one of those surprises that the movie turned out as great as it did, you know, because it was like, especially when you start out the movie, you realize right off the bat that's like, okay, Justin Lin is no longer doing these. You notice it. It's noticeable, because James Wan really does take it to a different place, you know. It really is, and he heightens it to like this. I'm trying to think. It's like it's fun. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like it doesn't take itself as seriously. You know, it takes itself a little bit more. Yeah, it knows what it is. You know, it knows exactly how ridiculous it is, and it knows
right.
Like even in that one, like as much as you don't like this, like when there are like female body shots, it's like for something about the way that James Wan did it, it was like, I'm doing this to poke fun at, you know, like the way that it's been done in the past. You know what I mean? It really feels like that. It doesn't feel like he's doing it to like take it seriously. It feels like he's even doing it to just even poke fun at it, and it's like it's got it's like his voice is really all over that movie, you know. It really is,
because honestly, by the time I did get to Fast 5, and when there was another street race scene with just girls everywhere all over men in the shortest skirts and you know everything, I was like, oh, okay, so this is just a thing. This is just gonna happen every movie, right? And it's just gonna be a hallmark, and it's gonna be the sweetheart moment that needs to happen every movie. I'm gonna have to get used to it. But I kind of, you're what you're saying, I kind of like that James Wan.
He does.
Like,
it feels
guys,
like
I know that we have to have this scene.
Yeah.
We know it's sexist, but we have to have it. Here you go.
Yeah, because like the way James Wan does it,
that's an understanding I can get behind.
I felt like James Wan. I remember the scene specifically. I haven't seen the movie in a little while, but I remember specifically when he did it. It was almost like, I'm gonna take it so over the top that you guys are just gonna know I'm just kind of poking fun at the fact that we always have to do this, you know. So it's just
excited to watch it then.
Yeah, it's really a fun film, but you know, 6 I'm really curious about your opinion on. I think you actually might be the one that likes 6 more than 5 because because of what you're looking for in these a little bit more. I feel that way because the fact that it's like very Letty driven, you know, like she drives the plot is like a big, you know, that'll probably be important to you, I'm sure, when you watch it. I did
start watching 6. I got like 5 minutes in and then I fell asleep because I was watching it and going to bed. But it was so funny. There's like a recap at the beginning of all the other movies, and I'm like, guys, I've been doing nothing for the last 24 hours but watching these movies. Bro, you don't, again, I should be entitled to financial compensation at this point because I'm like, bro, you're trying to give me a recap right now. You've already insulted my intelligence, so stop it. You're on thin ice. You're on thin ice, Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
That's how I felt watching.
I feel like 7 does a recap as well, though, if I'm not mistaken. I want to say he puts it all in the opening. I don't know how 6 did it. I don't remember, but
it was like the opening credits. Yeah,
I feel like Juan does the same.
That was
thing
a recap.
If I'm not mistaken, he might. it's
Kind of
yeah.
like like how Spider-Man 2 did it, you know what I mean? How the recap
Yeah,
is also the opening
yeah,
credits.
Juan does it the same way, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not
Nice.
mistaken. He's yeah, I love Seven so much. Like Seven has such a soft spot in my heart. Like Five is still my favorite, but Seven just yeah. I remember because I think Five is the first one I saw in the theater, if I'm not mistaken. Because
Nice.
if I saw two, when I was a kid, like I really liked one, and I don't think for some reason like that I don't think I saw two in the theater though for whatever reason, even though I really liked one. But I saw it at home, and either way, I didn't. I don't think I've ever really been a massive fan of that movie, like of two.
Yeah.
So like, and then three comes along and it's Tokyo Drift, and then I'm like, okay, at least it's something different. You know what I mean? It's not, you know, because I'm getting tired of the Brian O'Connor story, you know, because it was bad in two. And so when I saw Tokyo Drift, and I was like, okay, I liked it. You know, it was better. And then it was better, but it wasn't good enough to where it was like I have to see these in the theater. And then four came along, and I never saw it in the theater because I just didn't care about the franchise anymore. But then four has that like amazing cliffhanger, and you're like, well, you got to see five, you know. And then so when five came along, it was like the first one that I've seen I saw in the theater, and so like I think that's why it's still my favorite in a lot of ways, because
I remember that one being I remember Fast Five being the one where it like became culturally relevant to me.
Yeah,
you know, it like got on my radar after that movie came out because it was so huge.
I think that was the case for a lot of people, just because it was like, oh, four had that cliffhanger, you know. It was like, so every, you know,
so they all came back for five, right?
Everybody was like, well, we got to start watching these in the theater now, you know, because it's one of those, it was like an event, you know. It's like we get to find out what happened. And so like, so when I saw five, I just remember being stunned by how action packed it actually was, and how great the effects were, and you know how just incredible the sound design was, and that was all the stuff I just picked up on by the time I saw five. And I was like, wow, this is like it feels bigger than I ever thought it could be. And then I'm sure you kind of had the same feeling, especially toward the last 40 minutes.
Yeah,
like
no, for sure.
Started to feel like massive on its scale, and
yes,
like, it's just got this all-star cast, and you know, it really did. Like, you got The Rock in there now. That's a big deal, and he's so great in the movie. And, oh man, yeah. So the ending though of five, I'm sure you kind of dug the direction that they were going. Do you kind of see like how The Rock is going to be incorporated now though? Like, are you starting to get that idea?
That he's you know, he's still like, what does he work for, the FBI, CIA, whatever the hell, that like he still does, but he, you know, he lets them get away with it, you know, gives them the 10-second head start kind of thing, you know.
Seven, the thing with seven now,
game recognizes game kind of thing,
yeah, the thing,
like, what am I gonna do, destroy them? They're the same as me, you know.
Exactly. And I think the thing with seven is like, you know, by the time you get around to seven, he's kind of like hiring them for jobs, you know, because he's like, nobody else is going to be able to get shit done, you know, but this is the team I need on it, you know. And it's like,
all right,
yeah, so you it makes a lot of sense by the time you get there, because they're the only team that can do it. But they kind of have to, in order to keep themselves out of jail, because at any point in time, Hobbs can arrest them all if he wants to, you know. And so like they're pretty much under his command, you know, when it comes down to it, because they can have him arrested. He can have him arrested at any point in time. But just like everybody else, he's drinking the Coronas with them, and he's
one of them.
He's one of them. Yeah, he's one of them.
Also, I don't know if I want you to spoil this for me or not, because I feel like I know how it goes down. But so also it kind of bothered me a little bit. I thought the cop woman who's like on the team with The Rock, right?
Yeah.
I thought she would probably end up being a love interest for The Rock, right?
Yeah.
And they would be, you know, they would be like, they're together and they know the secret and it's the whole thing. But then she's the love interest for Dom, and I was like, excuse me, is Letty not coming back in the next movie? Am I gonna have to watch a fucking cat fight?
Yeah,
because we're on thin ice. I'm on thin ice, thin fucking ice. They're gonna make me watch a cat fight.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I do know, but no, I don't know. No
God
comment.
fucking damn it.
No comment.
I expect nothing less, though. I knew that. The second I saw them together, I was like, God fucking damn it.
You want the honest truth, Sammy, is I actually don't remember how that all kind of plays out. All I know is Letty becomes very important.
That's right, yeah. Because that's the thing. She becomes important, so I'm like, she's probably, and in the first movie, like, he was up on, like, another girl came up to him, and she was like, get out of here, skank, or something, and I was like, okay, let's not be mad at her. Let's make sure we, like, tell the people we're in relationships with our boundaries and things, so we're not having moments like this, Letty, please, in our healthy relationships. So I know a cat fight's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what irritates me about this franchise, though? Like, because I don't want to sit here and pretend like everything is perfect with them or anything, because they're not. It's not. Like,
they're also not all bad. Again, they're not all bad.
No, they're not.
Also,
they're not bad. But it's not that they're all perfect either. And I think
there's a Venn diagram, like, and there's a middle. There is a middle.
One of my biggest gripes is that there's always a scene in each of these movies that feels very reminiscent of the one prior. And it's like, oh, come on, you know, like I feel like every movie has a scene where there's like a group of cars chasing after a big truck at one point in time. Always. Each one of them has it.
Yeah.
And it's so irritating to me because it's like, and that used to be what they would put in the trailers too, is always that clip of them chasing after a truck. And I don't know if it was like an inside joke on the studio's part. They've gotten more creative these days with it, but that used to seem to be what was in every single trailer was a bunch of cars like chasing after a truck, and it would just be like, oh my god,
no, you're right.
Is this the same movie, or are they just fucking with me? And it's so irritating. And they have so many different.
And it would be in the trailer. It's like intercut with like the truck race, and then like a fist fight, and then there's like a monologue of something serious. And it's all intercut together. Yeah. That's every action movie trailer.
Yeah.
After the year 2010.
Yeah.
Everyone.
It got so irritating after a while. It was like, I would honestly like, because I loved 5 so much, and then 6 took like 2 years to come out, I think. And then by the time 6 was coming out and they showed a trailer and it looked so similar to 5, I remember just being like, I don't know if I even want to go see this. But there was a double feature with Hangover 3 at the drive-in, so I ended up going anyway. But it was just, it was one of those things where it was like, I just don't know if I wanted to go. And then like I get there every time this happens with these fast movies. I get there and I have a great time, and I'm like, I just need to start seeing these every time, you know, because I always end up having a good time by the time they're done. Especially since 5, I should say, I've had a really wonderful time with them in the theater. They're always so much fun to watch. I
will say also the driving genuinely is like freaking dope.
It is.
Like, I mean, especially like I really love like the last 40 minutes of Fast 5 when they're doing like they're testing how to get around the cameras and like the thing. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And like that is so dope of like the shifts and everything. Like it's not just like driving, you know what I mean? Like I feel like some people are like, yeah, you put the car in drive and then you go. And I'm like, no, it is so much more than that. And I mean, respect, genuinely. Because like I was like, when I was out driving today, I was like a little bit aware of it. I was like, God, I feel like such a fucking loser. Because that's what I do. I just put it in drive and go.
Yeah. And while there are things that are like, honestly, because there are like dead honest things, obviously, that are just like, you cannot do that or pull that off.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And that's part of the charm. I get that.
Right.
But like when it comes to like what's going on internally with the car, like when they're shifting and stuff like that, like they're accurate with that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's like you cannot pull this off, but if you were to, this is how you would do it. You know, it's like
and it's like because you can't go from one speed to another that easy in a car without like doing all that shit with the gears. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Have you seen
the spins and stuff they do of like they'd be going one way and then they'll put it in reverse and it does like a spin and they put it back and oh my God.
Yeah. Did you see
awesome.
Did you see the movie that with Aaron Paul, Need for Speed, when that came out?
No, I haven't.
Check that out. I'm curious to know your opinion on it because I actually find it to be incredibly underrated. So everybody called it a Fast and Furious ripoff when it came out.
Okay.
I don't look at it that way. I look at it because the difference with that movie is there's no CGI. So all the stunts are like absolutely real in Need for Speed. There's no CGI. Cool. And like, so they wanted to do things like they wanted to have the action of Fast and Furious for sure. So don't get me wrong there. Like it kind of has that going for it, but they wanted to make everything. It's like Fast and Furious, but everything that goes on are things that are actually possible to do,
Mm-hmm.
because it was all practical, it was all
right.
real. They didn't use any CGI in it, and I had a lot of respect for that movie because of it.
Mm-hmm.
I found it to be quite underrated. It's not amazing, it's not like great, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'd rather watch a Fast and the Furious movie at the end of the day,
right?
But at least like, but I do have the respect for it because of the approach, you know, to make sure that all the car action was practical, you know, everything was realistic. Like, they actually, even if Aaron Paul wasn't driving it all the time, they had an actual stuntman pull off the stunts, you know, in the car. And I thought it was really, really cool. It's a fun little flick. It's not amazing, but it's a fun little flick. But everybody compared it. Yeah, everybody compared it to Fast and Furious because they have a team of people that are gonna go try to do a heist. That's the plot. And so people are like, oh yeah.
Oh, did it come out around Fast 5 time?
I think it was either 5 or 6. It was one of those two. It came out near, and it was like everybody was just like, "Oh, it's Fast and the Furious." It's like, it's really not though. Like, if you really break it down, there's a lot more to the characters than what was in Fast and, like, I don't know. I mean, Fast and Furious has a lot of like good character stuff, but like with Need for Speed, it felt like it didn't feel like a franchise. It felt like a one-off movie. You know what I mean? Okay. And that's what I liked about it too. It's like it didn't feel like it needed a sequel or was setting up for any, you know, more movies. It was just like, we want to make this really cool kind of car movie. It's like, it's one of the better ones, you know. Like, there have been so many terrible car movies over the years. Like, let's be real,
right? That
oh my god, you cannot look at Need for Speed and say it's nearly as bad as any of those, especially when everything was done practically. Like, do you remember Torque when that came out? Cisco and I talked about this one. Oh my god! So this was. I gotta tell you about Torque. Okay. This movie came out like very close after Fast and the Furious, and I guess the
first one.
Yeah, so I guess one of the producers got like fired from the franchise or something like that, and so somebody from the studio that worked on it got fired from Fast and the Furious, first one, and so like 1 year later, like I think he went over and like to a different studio and made Torque, if I'm not mistaken. And it was kind of his way of like trying to make the thing that was like a lot better than the Fast and the Furious. But when you watch it, you know exactly why this man got fired, because this movie is god awful. It's like it tries to be Fast and the Furious so much that like even Vince, you know, Vince, the character Vince, that actor is in Torque. Like, it's like, why? As like the douchebag.
Yeah, why?
Yeah. And Ice Cube's in that movie. It's so terrible. It's so funny. Like, so
That's so funny.
It's trying to
that be reminds me. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the plot of it, the premise. It's essentially the Fast and the Furious with motorcycles. And the opening shot of the movie, I think it's Ice Cube's character, if I'm not mistaken. He's flying by this road sign on his motorcycle, and the sign like actually spins around like a Wile E. Coyote,
like a cartoon. I know, like a Looney Tune.
Yeah. And that's the movie. It's like it's a
Looney Tune special.
Yeah. You'll watch Torque and go, I think I owe the Fast and the Furious apology. Because you'll have so much more respect.
That bad.
Oh, it's Sammy, I'm telling you, you might not have liked the Fast and the Furious that much, but if you watch Torque,
a movie to make me be like, wow, the first Fast and the Furious is actually not that bad, has to be garbage.
It makes the Fast and the Furious look like a masterpiece. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, because you take the two of them,
I won't be able to watch it then. I'll turn it off. I won't be able to watch it.
And talk about shots of girls' bodies. You'll have so much more respect.
I'll have to turn it off.
Oh, you would not get through it because the criticisms you have on Fast and the Furious, it does tenfold.
I would turn it off.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's so horrible. It was like, why did you even make this? I don't even know how it got greenlit. I guess
Fast and Furious, I can only kind of do, like, I've noticed I can do like 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
This is not on purpose, but I notice myself like wanting to pause about every 20 minutes or so. Every single time. And then I check and it's been about 20 minutes since the last time I paused.
Yeah.
I have it taken in small spurts.
Yeah.
It's like a sprint. I have to do a lot in a little bit.
Yeah. I don't feel like you'll have that with Fast 6, though. No. I think with 6, you'll be like a little bit more in. Because you're
Fast 5 was a bit better.
You're going to want to know what happened to Letty, I feel like. You're going to be into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, the first Fast and Furious, though, I was pausing like every 10 minutes. Because I was just like...
Yeah.
I just needed to catch my breath. I was like, I can't. I can't.
I
This is a real ass movie.
I cannot, in good conscience, watch this movie in full. Don't you dare try to make me.
That's how it feels, honestly. And I was like, I have to sit. I'm sitting here, sacrificing my morals to watch some cars go vroom vroom. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Every 10 minutes or so that would happen.
Yeah.
And I'd have to take a minute and recenter myself.
Yeah.
Take a breath.
Yeah. Have you noticed that Vin Diesel's dialogue has gotten more and more limited, though, as we move on? Maybe that's part of what helps.
Oh, does it? I mean, it was pretty big in 5.
Yeah, but it gets more and more limited. Wait till 6.
Okay.
Everything. I feel like his dialogue is limited to let's go.
Yeah.
Family.
Oh my god, even in Fast 5. Oh my god, the amount of times family is even said in Fast 5, I was like, oh my god, we're starting early. We're starting hot and early.
They overdo it. They really do. It's funny though.
Yeah. It is pretty funny.
Well, you know what makes this so
funny? It's just so funny. It's
Vin
also
Diesel's
funny.
Like physique. And you don't expect this man to be going family every 5 minutes.
Yeah. It's also the fact that like he was saying, he made this speech to the whole group.
Yeah.
Where for me, I was like, you guys met each other 10 minutes ago. Yeah. You've been on screen as a unit for 10 minutes. And he's like, the only people who matter are the people in this room. And I was like, what are you talking about? You know each other. I've known you as a group for 10 minutes. Me as the audience member, the one who should matter here.
See, there's times in the movies his little, like, speeches work, and then there's other times where it's like, bro, we got a job to go do. We don't got time for this. Like, honestly. You can say it at the barbecue when we're having Coronas, but right now, there's no time.
Oh my god, yeah.
Let's get going. Like,
there was one part, too, when they, like, I forget how they do it, but, like, Mia and Brian, like, accidentally reveal that Mia's pregnant in Fast 5, and it suddenly becomes, like, a thing. Like, everybody comes up to congratulate them, and it's a thing, and I was like, do we have the time?
Yes.
Is this the time?
I remember
just
that
asking,
scene.
Is this the time?
No, it's never a good time in these movies.
It was really funny, though. Plus, like, now? We want to do this now? Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't tell them before? You kept it. Why? Keep it. Why is it a secret?
It just cracks me up because they always have the barbecue at the end with the Coronas, and then nobody ever says anything about family there. You know, it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, why did you spend the
it's just
time
vibes there.
I guess they're trying to, like, spread out the heart in the movie, so they're, like, putting it in the moments where we should be out there trying to, you know, do whatever job we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, like, Vin Diesel in 6 is a little bit more impressive in my opinion, because he's at least, like, he's playing a different, like, he's playing Dom from a different angle, because he's playing Dom that, like, cares about Letty, you know what I mean, and wants to find her. So, like, I actually enjoy the angle that he kind of approaches. I'm not trying to claim that Vin Diesel's, like, suddenly magically this incredible actor or anything. Right. I'm just saying that at least they switched up the sort of approach. They kind of showed us a different side of Dom in 6. He's still like a badass and you know, does everything right and never loses a fight, but he just at least his motives are different for once, you know, like it seems like he's got a different motivation altogether. So I'm at least, like, I was pretty thrilled about that. But then again, like in 5, part of the motivation is the fact that he wants to help provide for, you know, Brian and Mia too. So you got that going. But with 6,
and and the kid of the man, it's Vince who dies, right? Vince dies, right? In 5, Vince's kid, right? Yeah.
It was like one of those things too.
They send the money at the end, right?
You see him and you're like, I'm kind of glad he's back. He kind of added some, you know.
I know, I was,
villainous, you know, type vibes to the film, to the franchise. And so when he's back, it's kind of cool because it's like you don't really know how him and Brian are going to get along at this point. But then he dies, and you're like, oh man, you know. But at least there's some consequence in these movies, you know, because like sometimes there's like these could easily be without consequence, and if they didn't have any, then those movies would feel very stale. Because again, we know Vin Diesel will never die in any of these. We know that he'll never lose a fight. You know, it's like he makes sure of that. So the fact that at
the
least
last shot of the last movie is just going to be him like on the moon, like looking over the earth, being like, we're a family, all of us.
Yeah.
Humanity, we're all a family. And it's going to be a glory shot of just his face. And that is how the last movie will end. He will never die
I'm
or be
hesitant
injured.
about this 9. I'm telling you right now, because I
right.
just... well, I think it makes sense that they go to space, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. And
yeah.
I think it's just... It seems self-aware. I hope it plays self-aware, though, and not like over the top, like we think that this is like a logical next step. It's like, you know, it's like, no, like nothing about these movies are logical. Like I hope that Justin Lin realizes that at this point, that like nothing about these movies are supposed to be logical. Please do not take them more seriously than they need to be, especially because when you get to 7, you'll understand me a lot more, because 7 is where it like gets incredibly heightened, you know, like as great as James Wan does with the movie, and he really does, it's so over the top. It's like there's no way you could do any of this, you know, like I don't think that there's a single action.
Oh my god, yeah, I've seen the trailer for, I think it's the Fast 9 trailer, right, where they're like they jump a cliff or something in the car and they're like, we're not gonna make it, and then it just magically the car makes it.
It's horrible.
If that's
a
hint to anything, then yes,
it's awful, but it's funny. Like it is
right.
Like, and I all Letty
because
does,
still, you're still like, I want him to make it, you know what I mean? You're like, I don't care how they make it, I want him to make it. That's how you feel at that moment. It's
Dom and Letty in the car. It cracks me up every time I see it in the trailer, because then they get over and all Letty does is whoo. Like I'd be like, holy shit, we just made that. You know?
Can you believe we just did that? Why did that work?
Yeah.
That shit does not work.
Yeah.
I feel like what man is writing the movie we're in, because that shouldn't have worked, and it did.
I think that's what worries me in the trailers, because in 7, like when you see they're like jumping buildings with cars and stuff, and like at least when they're doing that in 7, they're a little bit more like, I don't know if this is gonna work, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
But when I see the trailer for Fast 9,
it's just like we knew that was gonna work.
It feels like the characters have gotten so used to the fact that they've done such over the top shit over these past 2 movies, especially, that they're like, oh, we could just do anything and we're invincible. And I don't want to just feel that way. I want there to be some stake, you know. Like I wish that I hope that there's like actual stakes to it, you know, rather than the characters just feeling like, oh, we can just do it because we've done it before and we've done crazier shit than this. You know, so but that was kind of the vibe too, because you have Tyrese's character he kind of comes in 9, and you hear him say that whole spiel about, we've jumped cars off buildings, we dragged a safe across the city, you know. So you hear him say that and you're like, okay, like they're, at least it's somewhat self-aware, you know, but I don't want it to be so self-aware that it's like you know, the characters just don't care about the fact that they're trying these crazy stunts, because that's part of the fun in me. In 5, like, you know, like when they're going to do the safe stunt, like they don't seem to think that that's something they're gonna actually pull off. It feels like you're there's suspense to it, you know. Like there is because of the way that the characters play it, you know, the actors play it, it feels like that there's suspense. But when they jump this car over this fucking bridge and it works, and Letty just goes, oh yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck did we
Which
do
also
that?
Genuinely, I didn't see the twist at the end of Fast 5. I thought somehow they had like, I don't know, they would get money some way, but I don't know. I genuinely thought they would like just left the safe, and that's part of why Dwayne Johnson was like cool with them.
Yeah.
You know, leaving, because like he was like, well, they gave the money back, it's fine. Yeah. But then I was like, oh no, okay, they had, you know,
they had more
plan upon plan. Yeah.
I don't know if those are going to be in this new one, but yeah. Right. They really, the morals have seemed to gone out the window. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. It's wild. I mean, the one thing I would say too is the other part in the Fast 9 trailer that makes me laugh every time is the fact that you see John Cena swinging across like past this building, and Vin Diesel jumps off a roof and just soars and lines it up perfectly that he's gonna catch John Cena and then break him through this window. And to me, it's like, have they become superheroes? Like, it confuses me. You know what I mean?
Did they fall into a radioactive pit? When did this happen? Where is the spider?
Exactly.
What happened?
Like, I'm okay with them doing a little bit of that. There's a really great scene with Dom and Letty. You'll know exactly when you see it what I'm talking about. That is, it's unrealistic, but it actually like makes you like catch your breath, because you want, you want things to go right. Let's just put it that way. You want everything to go right with it. And it's like, it really puts you on the edge when it happens. So there's a scene like that in 6. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to give it away because it's too fucking cool too. Nice. But with that scene, that's fine because it's like a minimal moment of that. You know what I mean? But I don't want Fast 9 to be every scene we're going to see these guys doing like unbelievable things. And like, I want to at least have something in my mind that can chalk it up to some type of adrenaline, you know what I mean? Right. Rather than like they just do it because like they think that they can. I don't want it to be without consequence. Like I think that the consequence is part of what keeps you going throughout, because people do die throughout the movies, and shit does happen and shit does go horribly wrong from time to time. At least puts enough of it in there to where it keeps you going throughout the franchise, and at least holds the suspense enough to where you keep going. Even 8, I'm not the biggest fan of 8, but even 8 knew that there had to be consequences from time to time. They knew that there had to be some suspense, you know what I mean? It's a little bit more stale on it, but 9 better deliver. That's all I'm gonna say. It needs to be like one of the best, because I feel like by the time you get to number 9, this is where people start to get suspicious, because it's 9, it's like, how much longer can we do it, so it really needs to go over the top in a great way, and like space could be that, it could be the thing
I'm saying,
space could be exactly what the franchise needs, so I'm gonna hold out hope, but I don't want it to lose me, I want it to feel like a Fast and the Furious movie. But again, Justin Lin, I have hope that I'll at least enjoy it, just because I've enjoyed his other films. But I'm excited to talk about it on movie night with you. It should be interesting.
We are going to talk about it on movie night.
It should be
It's true. I know, it is going to be interesting. I mean, the first one I see in the theaters, I'm excited about it. I do also, one other thing that like just still stays in my head that really just pissed me the fuck off and will for the rest of my days was so in the first movie, we were talking about this on Stereo too, that in the first movie, Mia is explaining to Brian how like Dom met everybody in the crew, and she's like, oh yeah, well, like him and Vince were really good friends growing up, because they both loved cars, and they were like thick as thieves. And then Letty was always around too, but always in a car, so she really liked Dom. But it wasn't until she turned 16, and caught his attention that she really joined the thing. And I literally went, fuck you, movie. Fuck off. Why couldn't she have, it would have been so easy to be like, you know what? Dom befriended Letty because she was the neighborhood girl who didn't have a lot of friends because she was into cars, but he was into cars. So he befriended her and they were childhood friends. And then like, as they grew up, they fell in love. How fucking cute is that? But no, because only men wrote this movie. She wasn't in the crew until she got tits and ass at 16 and got hot. And then we paid attention to her. That really rubbed me the wrong way. That struck a nerve for some reason in my core. I just went, fuck you guys. Fuck all you guys.
Yeah.
But, I've moved on. You know what? I'm trying to move on. We're working on it. It's a fake movie. Yeah. I'm like, it's a fictional thing. These are fictional people.
They're not wrong.
But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like if there was even one woman who looked at that script and they took her seriously, she would have been like, why not make them childhood friends? Yeah. She probably was alone as a kid because she was into cars and a girl and probably was tough. So all the girls didn't want to hang out with her. And all the men probably rejected her, as they did, because she was, a girl and they won't accept her as one of their own. Like, fuck off. Yeah. Like, that felt particularly male gazy for me.
Yeah.
Like, why? Yeah. Why did you make it a point to be like, we didn't like her until she got hot?
Well, I guess that's what I like about 6 is it kind of retcons that idea a little bit, in my opinion.
I'm hoping.
Well, because
that's why I say, preface to all of this, we're working on moving on.
Dom at least genuinely cares about Letty by the time you're in number 6.
Which is true, right?
Yeah, because he's
And I do get that vibe that they do, like they are in love and they do care about each other.
Yeah.
Like I believe their relationship.
Well, I mean, you gotta remember too, like they got better writers as the movies went on and made more money too. That's another thing that you got to remember. Like the writers probably weren't the best, you know, back in
true.
Because the first movie was this. I'm not defending the narrative. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that you know the first movie.
Oh, but I know what you mean. Yes.
Low budget. Nobody expected it to be a hit. Yes. It was just kind of an out of the nowhere sleeper hit. You know what I mean? Like nobody expected it to make money when it came out. It felt very like out of nowhere when it came out. I remember it. I remember it happening, you know, when I was younger. Like nobody was ever talking about that movie. It was one of those things that people saw, word of mouth got around about it, and it was like a sleeper hit. Nobody thought it would be what it was. And nobody thought it'd make 9 movies. I'll tell you that for a fact. Even when they saw it, nobody ever thought we'd be at number 9.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy to think about. So whatever it did, I guess my point is, like, you know, I feel the same way about that narrative as you, but whatever it did, it fucking worked. I mean, we can't deny it. Like, whatever the movie did, it worked. You know, there's no denying at the end of the day that it did enough right to where we're at.
As much as I hate it, I can't deny it. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, like, I like the first movie. I still do. It's not my favorite one. I've stated this. It's I see the problems. It has a lot. Like, by a mile, it has a lot of movies. But the same way as everybody else. I remember being a kid, and when I didn't know any better, you know, but I remember watching it as a kid, and I remember that movie being, I might have been 12, 13 maybe, I don't know, but I just remember that movie being...
That is prime. When I watched it, I was like, this is prime 13-year-old boy. No, like, all due respect to 13-year-old boys, but like, oh my God. Yeah. This is everything to a 13-year-old boy, this movie.
I just remember watching it and being like thoroughly entertained, and I remember being like, it surprised me how thoroughly entertained I was when I saw it as a kid, because it was just... one of those things that only my sisters were talking about at the time. My brother too. My brother was a big car guy, so he really enjoys them. He still enjoys them to this day. But you know, that they brought the thing home, and they were like, "You have to see this movie. You have to see this movie." And for the longest time, I was hesitant to watch it because it was just at that age. It didn't seem like my thing. I'll be honest with you. I was more into fantasy stuff, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, what have you, which is something else my sisters got me into, by the way. But that was the thing that I was more into, you know, and so like car action movie with a couple of nobodies, you know, just did not sound good to me as a kid. But I just never forget putting it on and being like, that was a hell of a lot better than I ever thought it was going to be. And even when I watched it the other day, I was like, this held up a lot more than I remembered it, you know, because like the time I'd watched it before the other day, I was like not hot on it. I was like, this has a lot of problems. This is a very bad movie. But I tried to watch it with a less critical eye this last time around, and I got the enjoyment out of it that I feel like it reminded me of what it was like being a kid watching it when my sisters were obsessed with it. Brought back memories, and it was fun. But no, my sisters, they were all about, you know, the Paul Walker and the Vin Diesel, and that was all of it,
which was cool.
And they watched it from the point of view of, we get to look at good looking men for a little while, you know, I think at the time. And I get that, I guess, you know, it's like and that was always my view of the Fast and the Furious. I remember it being like, to me, it was always a chick movie, because chicks were the ones that were obsessing it over it in my household. You know,
interesting.
That was always my view of that first movie, and it wasn't until I saw like 5 that it became like a man's movie. You know, because even like number 3, like Tokyo Drift, like has this, like, it's so very love story centered. You know, and it just feels like it's a very high school romance centered movie. You know, and it feels. I mean,
romance does not equal feminist.
I'm not saying it does.
Exactly.
I'm saying
that
because my sisters introduced it to me, and because they were the ones that were obsessed with it when I was younger, that was always the view I had on it, is like, this movie's for chicks. It's a unfair bias in my mind, I guess, because rewatching it, I see your point. It's definitely not for chicks, but it's like, I just with like
with like it's a strong feminist analytical eye that I just naturally have, because again, like I have a zero tolerance policy for misogyny.
Yeah.
That like it's just overtly clear, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like no part of me was like, ooh, the fact that Paul Walker's hot makes this all worth it for me. You know what I mean? Which like nothing wrong with that, you know what I mean? It's just for me because of the way my brain is wired at this point in my life at 23, watching them now for the first time. It's just like I can't, man.
Yeah. I'll never forget.
Why did you only like Letty when she turned 16? What? You were just a douche. She was into all the things you were into. She was your neighborhood kid, and you just didn't like her because she was what, a girl? That's what you're implying there.
Yeah. I think my sisters were always more into Vin Diesel when they were younger, actually, because I'll never forget my oldest sister when, I don't know if my other one was, but
they both have a glow up, I will say, from 1 to 4.
Yeah.
Paul Walker and Vin Diesel got, because I mean, like they were like, I'm not going to say they're not attractive in the first one, but like my God, they have a glow up in between 1 and 4, I will say.
Yeah. I'll never forget, like when the second one was coming out, my oldest sister saying, "Oh, Vin Diesel's on it. I don't know if I want to see it," but then she was like, "Oh, Paul Walker, he's still hot."
Fair.
Yeah, they're both good-looking men.
Because again, fair, exactly. Yeah.
And Vin Diesel's starting to show his age a bit, but like they're both not bad-looking men. There was a movie a long time ago. I'll never forget watching it, and I wish I knew the name of it because I don't know how it holds up now. I just know when I was a kid, I really enjoyed it, and it was. So Vin Diesel, you remember The Pacifier, I'm sure, being a Disney.
I fucking love The Pacifier. Oh my God, yeah.
It's great.
Obviously, all the Disney kids.
It's fantastic.
We love The Pacifier.
Yeah, and Vin Diesel's actually really good in that movie. Like, there's no doubt about it. Like, he actually, like, it's one of the times, like, like him talking about family makes sense in that one. You know,
you know what? This literally makes so much sense because have you ever seen The Game Plan?
Yes,
for the Rock movie. I think he's so good in that movie. And again, it's very similar in tone. The Game Plan and The Pacifier.
Oh, for sure.
And you know, Vin Diesel for The Rock. I'm not saying, just saying.
Yeah, both very fun family films for sure. And I remember. So after The Pacifier, Vin Diesel did another comedy, but it was like an R-rated comedy. And he had hair, and I can never remember the name of the movie. And I remember watching it and remembering him being very good in it. And I wish I remembered what it was because
I can try looking it up. It was after The Pacifier.
It was like not long after because he was like in this weird like comedy stage. It was like I remember like thinking seeing him with hair was the strangest thing, you know, first of all. But I remember he played like an actual like Italian, you know what I mean? Like like he's supposed to be, not a Mexican,
right?
But he's an actual Italian in this one. And I thought he did like just such a phenomenal job. And then like I don't know if it's any good, but
this is a really old joke, I'm sure, but it just hit me. How funny is it that a guy named Vin Diesel is so highly like connected forever with a movie about cars?
I know, right? No, for sure. Like
that just hit me. I was like, that's funny. This is Diesel. What's his name? Vin Gasoline. Like he might have like the only thing he could have been named better is Vin Gasoline.
Yeah, really.
Really. Yeah. Is it Find Me Guilty?
Yes, that's the name of it.
That's the one immediately after.
Yeah, did you Find see the poster? Guilty. Should find the poster.
I did. The poster because he's got hair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild to look at.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll show up, but
I remember the poster very well.
Very different.
I remember the poster very well, and I remember him like it's a comedy. It really is. Like I remember him being very funny in the movie,
based on the true story of Fat Jack DiNorsio.
Yeah, I remember like
sometimes the best defense is a wise guy.
And that's such a Vin Diesel line. Like,
I kind of read it like that. I just realized, sometimes the best defense is a lie.
You can't read that without hearing Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
But I remember being surprised because he wasn't so tough guy in that movie. It's not an action movie at all. Like, there's no action in it.
Yeah.
He's actually, like, acting. And I remember when I was younger really liking it. And I haven't seen it in a long time again. But so I don't know.
I was like, but he did it once. And then he was like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
I did one serious role. We're good, guys.
I just feel like he didn't get really hired after that for a while till they did another Fast, because it wasn't until Fast and Furious I don't think we saw him again, you know. So it just seemed like he wasn't really getting hired.
He did a Babylon AD.
I remember that movie. I remember.
And other than that,
fun little action
Fast
movie.
Fast and Furious, Wheelman.
Yeah.
Chronicles of Riddick,
Yeah.
Los Bandoleros,
Yeah.
Riddick, Guardians, and then
Yeah.
the rest is all Fast Furious. Yep.
Yeah, the
Xander
world seemed
Cage.
Very offended by the Vin Diesel comedy phase. I don't know why, but it did.
Yeah.
It felt like a
the
very
world
time.
was offended.
It seemed like it. Like
right.
It did.
You would think.
Because I don't know, like none of those movies like did really well. Like I don't think like I loved The Pacifier and I liked Find Me Guilty as a kid. The Pacifier is amazing. Like, are you kidding me? Like it's so good. Like it shouldn't be that good, but it is.
Right.
You know, it's Vin Diesel babysitting kids. Like that's such a great selling point for a movie, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's take this tough guy and put him around a bunch of kids. It works. Like The Rock and Game Plan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, it works too because like as a kid, I had no idea who Vin Diesel was, but you know, the movie works because you know, he's like a Navy SEAL or something in the Game Plan. He's like a football player. Like,
yeah, I still question whether or not he's an actual asshole, though. I really do, because
he really just might be. I feel like it's more likely that he is.
Yeah. See, it's hard for me because I do like him and stuff. You know, I do. I genuinely do. I don't think he's like world-class actor, but he's a good action star. You know what I mean? Like everything. Yeah. You know, he's.
But I mean, you can be a good actor and a shit person very easily.
I know. It's like it saddens me because like when you hear him talk about Paul Walker and all that, and like it's like he comes off very genuine about that. You know, his relationship with Paul Walker, and and I think Paul Walker's I've heard he was a really great guy. You know, he had a really great reputation for being a very great guy. So it just makes me wonder. I do wish him and The Rock would get over their little tiff, though, Vin Diesel and The Rock. I mean, come on. And The Rock has a good reputation for being a really great guy. So it's like, if you wonder who's the asshole in that scenario, it's probably Vin Diesel starting the shit. And it's just kind of upsetting that he's kind of gained this reputation over the years of just not being the easiest guy to get along with, and it's upsetting to hear because I've always liked him, like in movies, and like when he shows up, he's a nice little presence to have. He's really good when he does stuff he's supposed to do. If you put him in like, if you make, except for that Find Me Guilty movie, again, I don't know how it holds up, but it seems like when you put him in roles that he just doesn't work in, you know what I mean? Like he's made for Dom. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I hate to say it because he's dead, but like Paul Walker was terrible outside of Brian. Like any other movie he did, he was never good in.
I haven't seen anything else. Yeah.
He did a Joyride, another one my sisters were obsessed with as a kid. It's a terrible movie.
Nice.
It's a very stupid movie. And then there was Into the Blue, that one with Jessica Alba, which was a fine movie, but it's not like he's great in it like he is in Fast and Furious. It was a fine movie. It wasn't like an amazing movie. It was like a fine little action movie. But yeah, like it just seems like, I hate to say it, but like Paul Walker was a poster boy, outside of Fast and the Furious. It was like you put him on a poster, he's gonna get girls in the theater. It's like it's and I hate when studios do that. Like they bank on the look, of somebody rather than the talent of somebody, and that's something that has calmed down quite a bit over the years, luckily, but it's back in the day when Fast and the Furious was like in the pinnacle of that era, when studios were banking on the look of stars and not so much the talent of stars, and that's unfortunate because I do think Paul Walker was a talented dude. I genuinely do. I just wish we would have been able to see it. And we could have put him in more. And I don't know. Maybe he would have like really delivered. If he did more. I don't know. Yeah. It's sad though. It's sad. I mean, ironically sad, or ironic the way he died. Because
I was saying he died in a car crash, right?
Yeah.
In LA. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I was in the middle of, I'll never forget, in the middle of Catching Fire in the theater when he died.
Wow.
Because that's when my buddy, for whatever reason, jackass, had his phone up in the middle of the movie, and he got the news, and he told me, and I was like, "Oh, you fucking kidding me?" I was like, "Right now is not the time. I'm trying to watch."
Yeah, not the time, man.
Yeah, I was in the middle of catching fire when I got that news. I remember that till this day.
Yeah,
it was the craziest thing ever. I remember I asked him after the movie. I was like, "How'd he die?" He said, "A car accident." I was like, "You're fucking with me." Like,
yeah,
that's not real life right now.
Right.
He didn't die in an actual car accident. And then he's like, no, legitimately, he died in a car accident. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, crazy, Crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
which, I mean, again, like, if anything, this goes to show, like, some things are best kept in the movies, guys. Fast and the Furious is not real life. Yes. Your life is not actually the Fast and the Furious. Your life is a regular human life that is important. It is not the Fast and the Furious. You don't need to be going 100 miles per hour in Hollywood Boulevard. I don't know if that's where he was, but you don't need to be doing that.
Do not get pulled over for speeding living your life that way. From the theater the way I did when I saw Fast 5.
You don't need to do that.
Legitimately.
No. Did you know that I got pulled over for speeding on the way home from Knives Out?
Oh, really?
Fun fact, I did.
Yeah.
Because it was really late at night, and I was literally just like not thinking. I was in a neighborhood. And I was going like 10, I was going like 40 and a 30 in a neighborhood, just like at midnight with one of my friends.
Yeah.
And we had just seen Knives Out. Yeah. Yep. Because I distinctly remember, because they were like, "What are you guys doing tonight?" And I couldn't remember the movie. I was like, "We saw a movie, and like I got really nervous because I felt like they thought I was lying, and I was like, "It was the knives, the Knives Out."
Oh man.
Yeah, not fun to just be like the knives to a police officer who just pulled you over.
The one time I made a cop laugh was on the way home from Fast 5 because I did get pulled over. I had two buddies in the car. One was in the back, one was in the
You're front. Like, I just saw Fast 5, bro. I'm sorry.
I did. I said he asked me.
You said something like that.
He asked me where I was. I said I was coming back from Fast 5, and I guess I got inspired, and he started laughing, and he let me go. Yeah. He thought it was
no
funny.
way.
Oh yeah.
God damn it.
Gabriel Iglesias joke, it works. Like, apparently, because he did. He laughed and he said, "All right, well, I'll let you go. Just keep it under." Sorry, got it. Swear to God.
Damn, all right. I'll use that one next time.
Yeah.
I have thought about using the joke of my sister. I don't have a sister, but I'm like my sister's pregnant. She just called me. She's in labor right now. Like, she's alone. I need to get to her right now. Like, I've thought about it before.
Yeah.
But I'm just too anxious of a person to, like, I would never fall through.
Well, they'll fake
I would get too stressed in my own lie.
You gotta have an organic joke. You know what I mean? Like, it has to be, like, legit. That's the only time. Yeah. That's the only reason I tried it. Is because I was like...
Because I did. There was one time I had a professor one time in college who was, like, 30 minutes late to a class. And we were like, "Why were you late?" And he was like, "I got pulled over." And we were like, "Well, why? What did you tell him?" And he was like, "I told him that my wife was in labor."
Oh, man.
And he let me go.
Yeah.
If we were like, "You couldn't just say that you had a class to get to?" And they were like, "No.
Yeah.
What do you think holds more weight? My wife is pregnant and in labor, or I'm late for work? Come on, guys."
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's always stuck in my mind that, like, that's worked before.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing he asked me too was, "Oh, how was the movie?" Because he wanted to see it. He was like, I was thinking about going with my wife this weekend. How was the movie? I was like, "Oh, it was great." And he's like, "All right." And he goes, "All right, I'll let you go. Just keep it under 55.
That's insane.
Or keep it at 55. And I was like, "All right." Yeah, it was the one time I got pulled over where I actually had a joke to make that was true and legit.
I'll keep it in mind.
Because it was opening weekend. He probably knew. And he was like, yeah, he knew exactly that it had just come out. And because he was like, "I was thinking about taking my wife over the weekend to go see it," Yeah, he knew, and he thought it was a funny joke, and it worked. It just happened to work. It was the one time I've ever been able to do it where I think it actually worked. I not that I try it every time. Don't go speeding, even though you're the funniest person in the world. Don't go out there speeding. But that's not what I'm trying to promote here. I'm just saying that if you do get pulled over by mistake,
jokes,
and you have a good joke, and you have something that can really make somebody laugh, try it out. I mean, because it did work. Like, that's the Gabriel Iglesias bit. I'm sure you're familiar with that.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's like true. I you wouldn't think it was true, but it is.
Also, the Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings just dropped an official trailer.
Oh, really? I haven't checked it out yet. Otherwise, we talk about it here.
Literally 2 hours ago. Like, literally right before.
About the time we started.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. pre-recorded, folks.
Perfect.
For those of you
Goddamn.
watching Saturday, but we'll talk about it next week. Yeah, that's cool. I'm excited.
We know it came out though.
I'm excited to watch the trailer. I love that first trailer. It was so great. That first trailer.
You know when does that come out? Does that come out
July.
in November or
July.
February of next year? July?
July of this year.
I thought, oh my god, for some reason I thought it was so much further away. July of this.
It's July or
next
August.
month?
It's July or August. It's soon. September, maybe even. August or September, actually, I want to say now. It's soon.
Let me see.
Okay. It's coming up.
The week. Okay. Yeah. September.
Okay, never mind. I was
September.
Close-ish. But yeah, I knew it was coming up.
I had to check I knew it was on our movie night schedule, so I had to check it. It comes out, we're talking about it on August 6th.
Okay.
So it's the Friday before.
Right.
Monday,
Eternals is November.
August 6th.
Eternals is November, so yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was just saying that because I was like, how insane is it that we have like a Shang-Chi trailer? And I'm like, where's the Spider-Man 3 trailer, Marvel? Where is it?
Well, we talked about this, right?
I think about it every day. I want it. Where is it?
I thought we came up with like a really good conclusion to like when that was going to come out one time because we were talking about it. So I think we both,
I don't remember what did we say?
I think we all agreed July, right? Because that's 6
around
months
like
out.
Black Widow time.
6 months out.
Because Black Widow comes out in July.
It'll probably be attached to Black Widow then, I bet you.
Yeah, Black Widow, we're talking about it July 12th.
Yeah.
So the Friday before that it comes out.
I mean, I'm kind of with you in the sense that I genuinely thought we would have seen something by now.
I think about it every day. I'm like, where's the trailer?
Yeah.
Where's the trailer?
It's the one I pull up to check for, you know what I mean? Every time.
Yes.
Every time I pull up the internet to find stories that have come out, like that's the first thing I look for is to see if we got anything.
It's the one that I'm gonna drop everything when it comes out.
Right.
It's the one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when that trailer drops, I'm watching it. You know, it's like
it's got to be either Black Widow or Shang-Chi then.
Yeah.
When it's released, because it's gonna be released before Eternals. That's a month before the movie comes out.
Oh yeah.
Cut to November when we still don't have a trailer.
Yeah.
But it's got to be Black Widow.
Well, I still feel like there's as big as this hype is for Spider-Man 3. I still feel like there's a lot of viewers that don't know it's coming out, like casual people. So, like.
There's so many people. I feel like there's people who like know it's happening, but they think it's coming out in like 2 years from now or something.
Especially
they're like, I think there's a third one maybe.
Especially,
but I'm like, guys, it's coming in December.
Right.
6 months from now.
Especially with the way that movie release schedules have been, you know, it's like people. Yeah. You need to let people know. I feel like
you get trailers like a year in advance nowadays. You know.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be much longer. I think it's going to be probably with Black Widow. That would be a guess.
Yeah, just the next 2 or 3 months. The next 1 or 2 months.
6 months is typically the where they like to put 6 months prior. So I don't know anymore though, because like with COVID, it's like I feel like we've seen a lot of these trailers like years ago, you know. So it's like I don't know how they want to do it now. With COVID,
yeah, or at least like a teaser or something, like a teaser trailer they would drop maybe a little bit earlier than 6 months. But nothing.
Maybe Shang-Chi is a good sign though, because if you remember, they kind of did like they had the one for Shang-Chi, and then I felt like
they did have a teaser.
2 weeks later, we had Eternals. So like I feel like maybe they're trying to like group them in that way, maybe. So maybe we'll get something for
that's
Spider-Man.
a good. Maybe this is a good sign.
Yeah, because it wasn't long after Shang-Chi that we got Eternals. So not at all.
That's true. I remember that.
Waited at all for an Eternals.
I think it was like that week. I want to say it was later that week that trailer dropped.
Yeah, for sure. It was.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that one dropped 2 hours ago today, so maybe.
So what's Black Widow's official date? Just remind me.
So we were talking about it on the. Wait, never mind. Let me hold on. I thought I remembered, but I didn't. We are talking about it on the 12th.
Okay.
So it comes out on.
So I bet you we get Spider-Man next. I bet you we get Spider-Man next week. Then. That's my guess.
That would make sense. Yeah, that'd be 1 week before.
Spider-Man trailer will be next week. I bet you.
Oh hell yeah!
Because they never seem to like put them out with the movies, like that we seem to get them like a little bit
they
before.
Wait a minute,
right, and then like once the movies come out, then they're attached, with it. But like we'll the internet will have seen it prior, typically,
right?
If you're not going to release it with like the Super Bowl or something, which clearly that's not happening, it's like we'll get it somehow on the internet prior to the movie coming out. Like they might have an extended preview maybe, but like with the movie, but I think for the most part, like
it comes out later that week or earlier that week. If it comes out like that Friday, the trailers.
Yeah. Put it this way, I'll be very surprised if it doesn't come next week. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Since Black Widow's right around the corner, I'll be very surprised if they don't put Spider-Man next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
because then so that way, because by the time you see Black Widow, then we'll have a trailer for all of the rest of the slate for the rest of the calendar year.
And I think the other part of it too is we are far enough removed from Andrew Garfield's movie mainstream and far enough removed from Cruella, for those actors not to be on press tours right now and giving shit away. So it's like, I feel like that was another factor for sure, is they definitely wanted them to go out on their press tours and do all the interviews and deflect it as much as possible before we see something in the trailer, which I'm sure there's going to be something about it. Like, I think that they just wanted deflection as much as possible beforehand.
Yeah, enough time has passed where they're just kind of chilling. They're in between projects right now where like it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. Like they're not gonna get bombarded with spoilers now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not gonna have 40 people a day asking them questions every day for the next 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah.
Not for a while.
Yeah. So that's good. So I think that for sure this will be. It's got to come next week. I'm gonna be very surprised if we don't get it by next Friday. If we don't get it by next Friday, I'll be very shocked.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, who knows? They might want to milk it, like
so freaking excited.
Well, because now they know the hype. Now they know what we all think is going to happen, and so now I think that they're going to want to milk it. And I also feel like people have kind of given up on the trailers coming tomorrow thing. That's the other thing. Like I haven't seen so much of that these days. Remember, like every week the trailer was coming there for a while because people were it was like wishful thinking on people's part, and every single time they did it, I said, the more you do this, the more they're gonna milk it. That's what they do, because they don't want it to come out when you think it's gonna come out. They want it to hit you out of nowhere when you don't think it's gonna come out. So that's how they play this. So they're definitely like milking it, because that's the other thing. I'm sure that it's harder to get a trailer out for No Way Home, because they are probably trying to strategize like crazy. Like, okay, what are we gonna put in here? Like, what all are we gonna show?
Yeah.
Let's assume for a second that all the theories are true, right? Which, like, what are we going to show of that? Like, how much do we want to show?
I think very little, honestly. I think it's this. If we
do
get a trailer very soon, I think it's going to be very Peter Parker focused, and maybe just hints at something else is going on. But I don't think they say directly what it is. Or if they do, it's probably just like a brief, like a 1 second shot of it or something. The trailer's not going to be like, can you believe the multiverse is being opened? It'll be like, what's going on with Peter? Oh, look, a weird thing is happening.
I think the final shot of the trailer is going to be Andrew Garfield. That's my theory right now. I think that's going to be the final shot. I don't think they're going to show Tobey Maguire in this one, but I think the final shot will be Andrew Garfield. And then when we get the full trailer, that's when we'll see Tobey Maguire in the full trailer. The first teaser will be Andrew Garfield.
Dude, you don't understand the serotonin that just erupted in my body by just even thinking about the last shot of the trailer just being like a shot of Andrew Garfield. Yeah. I would die. I would have a heart attack and fall over and die.
Yeah.
Like this might be my number one most anticipated movie coming out. Of all the movies that are slated to come out in the next 1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
This movie is going to be everything to me. I just already know. And if we get hints of confirmation that because the main thing is to see all three Spider-Men together on screen, or to be able to go back to Andrew Garfield era and go back to Tobey Maguire era. Yeah. I'm gagged. I can't even talk about it. It's too much. It's too much for me.
Here's the thing. Let's assume that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in the movie. if you're a studio,
yes,
you're going to want to make this an event. And it's not, and people are going to be questioning why you're making such an event movie if you don't like at least have Andrew Garfield in the trailer at the very least.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying I don't think Toby's going to be in till the full trailer, but I think that you can
because that's actually right. Which I think is actually really smart of them if they just show Andrew Garfield, because again, it is much more of a nostalgia hit to show Maguire, and you want to save that for the movie, but you also want to make sure people know that it's a 99.999 wink wink % chance that he's going to show up. So you just show Garfield real quick. That's a smart way to do that.
I think the full trailer will be maybe not even show Tobey Maguire's face. If they're smart, this is what they'll do. They won't even show his face, but they'll show all 3 Spider-Men in costume.
The suit in suits, yes.
And then that's when we're going to know in the full trailer.
That would be cool.
But this one, Andrew Garfield, for sure, I think you need to show at the very end. I think that would be like...
Yes.
The internet it'd break the internet, if that happened. And you need to do that with this,
Oh my God.
We need to come off of COVID-19. We need to get back in the theater. We need, this is enough is enough. Like just give it to us, like give us something and make
especially by December, by December of 2021 when this movie comes out. I think it's gonna be time to be like, all right, guys, we're all going to the movies. We're packing in there. We're all shoving popcorn in our faces and we're screaming. It's time.
Yeah, I mean,
I really think
by December
we
Garfield
could get there.
can come out and be like, yeah, I was lying, So get that off of his back,
right?
So because I'm sure he wanted to say stuff,
but then it's all on Tobey Maguire now. He gets double harassed.
Yeah, but nobody talks to Tobey
everyone who
anyway.
was harassing him goes there.
Nobody talks to Tobey.
I don't know if Garfield shows up in the trailer and it breaks the internet.
Oh, they'll be knocking on his door at that point.
They're gonna be knocking on his door.
But
that's harassment.
I don't feel like he's had as hard of a time holding it in because he hasn't been doing interviews and stuff. Like Andrew Garfield is out there all the time, like talking to press. I feel like as opposed to
exactly.
Tobey Maguire.
He's more of an active.
Tobey Maguire is not very active on the press run, so
yeah.
I just feel like with him, it'll be a little. If it's a couple more months of pressure, then okay, it's like okay, then the paparazzi can come knocking on my door for 2 months. I'll handle it. I'll go move. I'll go on vacation with Leonardo DiCaprio till it dies down.
That's a lot, though, man. I don't know. Yeah, it is a lot, though, to be like I wasn't getting any, and now I'm suddenly being harassed every day by people, so much so that I can't be in my home.
For sure. Yeah, I agree.
It's a lot.
They're in it, though. I mean, I'm 99% sure they're in it.
They're totally in it.
Yeah.
You're really going to tell me we're picking up right where Alfred Molina's Doc Ock ends and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is just nowhere to be seen?
100%.
No.
Yeah.
You can't lie to me. I don't insult my intelligence.
That's
like
who else
that, Marvel.
they'll show too,
I know what you're doing.
That's who else they'll show. They'll show Doc Ock because Molina's already given it away anyway. So
I think they do show. I think they'll probably also show Jamie Foxx. I think too.
You think maybe?
I think they show Jamie Foxx too. He's billed every time they say the cast. He's always billed.
Oh yeah.
With them, it's always Zendaya, Tom Holland. Ned, I always forget his name, and then Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx. Yeah. That's always the names they've always given. I don't know. So I think they show all of them.
The reason they would hold that back is because I think that maybe they want to surprise us with the look of Electro because I heard it's different this time. So I think that they might want to surprise us with the new look.
That'd be a cool thing to hint in a trailer, though.
I hear it's like going to be less CGI, from my understanding. It's going to be a little bit more practical.
That's a really cool thing to hint in the trailer, though.
It is. It is. I'm not saying it isn't. They might. I mean, because it's been announced by the big trades. I mean, it might be hinted in the trailer, but I think Alfred Molina they're going to really dive in on for sure because he's like he's probably as far as villains go.
He's Doc Ock. Yeah.
And I mean, Willem Dafoe teased it too. Maybe they show some Goblin. I don't know. They might hold off on that one.
They might. I don't. Yeah, I think they hold off on that one.
Yeah. Well,
that's a little too much, I think, to show in the trailer.
Yeah, true.
Especially because that one, Dafoe, I think is only maybe like a 90%. You know what I mean? Like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are like a 99.99 and a hard wink %. Like Willem Dafoe, I think is like a solid like 90% chance that he's in it for me at least.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm excited either way, guys. But yeah, we're going to wrap up. We are out of time. So I want to thank everybody for joining here today. Sammy, before we go, thank you for being here. And where can people find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me as always. You guys can find me on Instagram. I'm at Sammy Ramirez 14, on Twitter and on Stereo at Sammy Ramirez. And then, yeah, hosting movie night every Monday night. Here on the Anorak Entertainment Podcast, we have our latest episode that was a double header of Luca and In the Heights. And next week, we're going to be doing Fast Nine. So, cowabunga, that one's going to be crazy. So come on and join us if you would like to.
All right. Well, for myself, you can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_ and on Instagram, Dom_Martino_ official. And you can also follow the Anorax pages on Twitter at Anorax official and on Instagram, Anorax official. So make sure to do that as well. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, and hit that bell for notifications. Want to thank everybody for joining. It's been a lot of fun. Please find the show on Spotify as well. It's on there for you guys to enjoy, and it's been a really great time, and we're also on Stereo. Make sure you go over there and communicate with us. It's been really fun doing that. You can find me at Don Martino. I do shows with Sammy at Sammy Ramirez, so download the app and just come hang out. It's been it's pretty much like hanging out with us, so it's been really great. So thank you guys so much for joining. Over here you can find our merch.streamelements.com/Anorax, and over here you can send us a tip, streamelements.com/Anorax/tip. So thank you very much, and we'll talk to you guys later. Good night.
Good night.